The Mania has started, and you'll find slam dunk savings and selection during our Hoop Mania event at Capitol Ford in Santa Fe. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary all year long, and that means buzzer-beating incentives and special dealer offers, like a new 24 Ford Bronco Big Bend Sasquatch, lease for $499 a month. Or a new Ford F-150, now $1,500 or 2.9% APR during this Hoop Mania event at Capitol Ford in Santa Fe.
Good evening and welcome to the Pit Press Live. Got a new show for you. Deep in the Dugout podcast, a baseball podcast on the New Mexico Alumni Media's lineup of sports podcasts. And my son and I, who's normally my host, Nick, we usually do Road to the Pit, but we're covering baseball. And my son coined the name for the show, Deep in the Dugout, which I thought was a pretty good show. And instead of my son joining me tonight, Nick Nunez, it's going to be my other colleague at the Pit Press, Eric Moulton, a member of the 2004 Capital State Championship basketball team, and also played college baseball. Played baseball at Capital and baseball at Luna and Peru University. I think at a small school in Nebraska. Eric, hey, welcome to the show, man. Our guest is Dynamite, but welcome to the show. I'm glad you're able to join.
Appreciate the intro, Ed. Big shoes to fill tonight. I know I'm filling in for Nick on you guys' new show. But I'm happy to bring it in kind of into the world, Deep in the Dugout podcast, kind of featuring New Mexico baseball. We have really never had a baseball-centric podcast before, but I'm happy to be a part of the first episode. So let's get to our guest.
Yeah, let's get to him. Let's bring on our guest. And our first guest on Deep in the Dugout is Sandia shortstop pitcher Adriel Figueroa-Brito. Pitched the first game of the doubleheader yesterday against Manzano. My son had you officially with 82 pitches with 32 thrown strikes. Sandia sweeping Manzano 16-3 overall and 4-0 district play with 6 games left. Matadors are ranked second in state behind only La Cueva, who they will face off against on May 3rd to end the season. Got the win as starting pitch in their first game. Gave up only 2 hits and struck out 8. 3 for 6 in the game, 2 games with 2 RBIs and 2 doubles. Adriel, welcome to the show, man.
Well, I'm happy to be here. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, and Erica and I will rotate asking you questions. I've been watching you play for a while. As I mentioned, you started out at second base, and I remember when you played for the late Chris Eaton, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But with the graduation of Talon Barraza, you moved to shortstop, and have also you were one of the top pitchers in the state. Adriel, Sandia is having a very good season. This is your 4th season as a starter, and Coach Mark Hilton is the 3rd coach you've played for while you've been there. You also played for Coach Hendricks, Coach Eaton, Coach Hendricks, and now Mark Hilton, who was formerly at St. Pius and then at West Mesa. What do you attribute the success of the program through all the coaching changes? That's a lot of changes, man. I remember Chris very well. So what do you attribute that to?
I think this year's success is just kind of like a testament to like how we handle adversity. I think that's really what's led to the season we had this year. We've all had the same pretty much road in high school. We all went through the 3 head coaches now. So I guess that all just binded us together. And I feel like this year we're really playing as a team and just playing good baseball.
You've been doing that for a while, though. I think I was talking to Coach Hilton about it, and there's been some really good. Jacob Komatz was one of your pitchers. I think you've got a 1 point. You're batting .478 with 9 doubles, 5 triples, 3 home runs, 31 RBIs, and 36 runs scored. As a pitcher, your ERA is 1.76 in 35.2 innings pitched, a 7-0 record with 60 strikeouts. And it seems like to me, in watching Sandy and hearing about them, they've had the arms for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Some really good pitching, good defense, the whole thing. We mentioned you moved from shortstop to second base after the graduation of Taylor Barraza. What kind of adjustment was that? You were a good second baseman, man. I watched you, had a couple of your games. You turned the DP, you had range, good hands, and going over to shortstop. What kind of adjustment was that?
Honestly, it hasn't been much of an adjustment. I've always played shortstop. So, second base was kind of my second position. And once you play shortstop, second base is pretty easy. So, really no adjustments there. I've just always played there.
Oh, so you no big adjustments there. Although shortstop, you're going to get a lot more chances, it seems like. But I think with the infield that you've had and the chemistry and continuity you've had, you guys have had some solid players, man. There's been a solid program for a long time. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I must say, hey, Audi, welcome to the show. Appreciate having you on. Making that adjustment from second base to shortstop is not an easy task. I played second base in high school and in college. I didn't have the arm strength to play shortstop, especially the balls that got kind of hit between the third base and shortstop gap. Man, making that throw is a tough one. So kudos for you for being able to make that adjustment and kind of making it seamless. But you were coached your first 2 seasons at San Diego, your freshman and sophomore year, had the pleasure of playing for Chris Eaton, who have impacted a lot of lives in the baseball community in Albuquerque and really just in New Mexico in general. But what do you remember about him? And do you have any kind of specific special stories that you guys might share together?
I only played with Chris my freshman year, and then sophomore year we had Dave Hendricks. But I just remember getting there and him just having like the most like positive like baseball like I don't know, it was just like such a different attitude than like other coaches. He was just so driven, like so you can tell how passionate he was about baseball. I guess our favorite memories, we still talk about them. We would be taking like in and out, or we would be taking like grounders, and we would make like 2 errors. And the funniest thing, he would just like shoot a ball up and just smoke it at us. And I just remember like we were terrified. I'm a freshman, so like he's hitting these balls 140 at me, but like that was like the most fun. That was probably the most fun thing we did. And like I don't know, there's so many stories about Chris. He was a great guy.
Yeah, that's a cool story. I remember taking those hot ones off. Kind of makes you a little unafraid at time too, because like you just get used to it. There's not a whole lot of pressure when he's joking around with you guys too. But you played your last few years with the New Mexico Blast Select summer ball, along with some other Sandia teammates, Talon Barasa, Jeremiah Bustillos. What would you kind of attribute to that experience with playing with those guys? And now that you guys are teammates in high school, like what has that experience been like?
It's real cool. I've played a ton since I was in Little League, and Jeremiah I've known forever. So like, being able to go out there and compete against top guys, like we played Gary Sheffield's team, we played some good competition out there. So being able to go out there with my guys and now have them in high school, it's just been like a lot of camaraderie between us, and that's really made it fun and just had good team chemistry between us because of that.
Sticking with your current team right now, one name I didn't mention, but Anthony Condon has emerged as a pretty solid leadoff hitter in your lineup. Having a reliable guy kind of leading everyone off and kind of setting the tone for the rest of you guys. How has he kind of helped the rest of the lineup and kind of putting you guys in, second place in the state right now?
Yeah. He's helped a lot. If you would have seen that Cueva game, pretty much the reason we won. Like, I threw all right, but he had 2 home runs, led us to that, gave us the 3 runs. It was all him, I'm real proud of how he's been hitting this season. Real good leadoff guy, apparently. I didn't know he could hit like that, but I guess he's doing all right. He's leading us well. And just having that guy in the lineup, at the leadoff spot, you're kind of always thinking like he's gonna be on base, he's gonna do something, he's quick, he's good in the outfield. So it's just great to have him there.
You don't typically expect to get a lot of power from your leadoff guy. You want him to get
Yeah.
on, and you want guys with
Yeah.
wheels. But go ahead, Ed.
I got to go back to Chris, Coach Eaton. He worked some Connie Mack baseball with us with ProView Networks. I got to be really good friends with him. Be really good friends, and I think the memories. I'm surprised he hit the balls like that because he's such a good guy, right? But he wanted you guys. I still remember you guys had a playoff game against Mayfield, and this kid from Mayfield made a good play, and he actually congratulated. I was broadcasting the game, and Chris actually patted him on the back. I'm like, what is he doing, man? I'd never seen anything like that. This is in the middle of the game. And that's just the way the guy was. He was one of the best. Like I said, I really got to be good friends with him. That story that you mentioned, I'm trying to imagine that. And like Eric said, your fear of getting that thing hit had to have alleviated quick if you know it's coming at you that fast. So the guy wanted to win, and like Eric said, he did a lot for kids at Sandia. For the game of baseball, they've got a scholarship in his name, and I'm still sad about it. I'm sure a lot of people are. But again, I'm glad you shared those memories of Chris. You're committed to play next season at Pima Community College. Will you be going there primarily as a shortstop or as a pitcher?
So I think I'm going more as like a position player, but I think I probably will have a little bit of a role as a pitcher. I'm not sure whether it's starting or closing games, but I think I'll have some role as a pitcher.
Is there a place that you want to just be a shortstop, just one, or because your ERA is incredible. You're going to get your at bats and you're going to produce. Look at the numbers. I always say look inside the numbers. 478 average has got to be either the highest in the state or one of the highest. And we'll go over your honors here in a second. 2-time all district. I mean, you've been all state. Is there a position that you're thinking to yourself, you just want to play one position and just concentrate on that?
I've always really liked shortstop, but my whole thing is I like playing every day. And as a pitcher, I can't really do that unless like I'm out of the bullpen or something. But I don't really care where I play in the field, as long as I'm playing in the field. That's where I would rather be besides pitching. I wouldn't rather pitch.
You'd rather be in the field.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you get to hit, Ed. If you're a pitcher, you don't get to hit that much, man.
That's right.
Everyone wants in that bat. But sticking with your pitching, just kind of readdressing March 22nd, you pitched a 6-inning, 6-hitter, 12 Ks against La Cueva, #1 team in the state, in a game that unfortunately had some kind of weird kind of towards the end with the forfeit. I won't really get into it that much, but you guys have a game coming up against them again here, right? Do I have that right? What are you guys looking forward to in that game? Is that something that you guys have circled on your calendar, or how are you guys kind of finishing up the rest of your season? What do you guys coming down the stretch?
Yeah, of course we're looking forward to that game. We want it back. We in our hearts we think we won that game. Score showed that. Obviously, some rules changed that, but as far as what we're doing to get there, we're just trying to take it game by game, day by day. We can't take Eldolite, can't take any of these teams. Like any team can beat you on any given day. So we're just trying to get to that point, put ourselves in a good position, and show what we did in the Metro tournament, and then just do it again. We think we can do it. So
you've already played in a state championship game, right? Was it your freshman year? You guys were in the state title, so you've been there, and along with some of your other teammates, have kind of been in that position before. So I think you guys are, really well prepped, or at least have the feeling, the taste of knowing what it takes to get there. Ed?
I got to ask you, okay, Adriel, you're low key about it, man. I understand that. You got El Dorado. You dropped a game to them in the Metro tournament. Then you've got Capital. You've got things to take care of before you get to La Cueva. But a couple of years ago, I remember doing a doubleheader at La Cueva, and Sandia swept them. Sandia swept them, and it had been the first time since 2015 that had happened. Yeah. So I remember, being in the press box at La Cueva and there was probably some stunned parents that it hadn't happened. So it's a healthy rivalry. We're not trying to jack it up any more than it is, but it's a healthy rivalry. And you got to take care of El Dorado first and Capital. But there's no doubt that somewhere in that clubhouse or wherever you guys in the dugout, deep in the dugout, that game has got to be circled because, again, you had an outstanding game, man. A 6-hitter with 12 strikeouts. And La Cueva has a murderer's row lineup, man. They've got hitters all over. They're the defending champions. Gerard Pineda, I have the utmost respect for him. Has a major league staff over there, man. So that game has got to be one that, Capital El Dorado's first, Capital after that, but that's got to be a game that you're like, yeah, man, let's see what we got.
Yeah, of course, no doubt.
Adriel, I gotta ask you a couple things. I got something from Mark Hilton and Coach Hilton, and remember we said the former coach at St. Pius, the former head man at West Mesa came in. I think his son Miles is helping him out too. Adriel is the heart and soul of our team. He is our leader, and his work ethic is second to none. One of the best competitors I've ever coached, a legitimate five-tool player, and the best all-around player in the state. His stats speak loudly at the plate, on defense, and on the mound. Coach Jacomi at Pima Community College is getting a great one. Adriel has a great career ahead of him, and I can't wait to see all the success he is going to have at the highest level. So that's what Coach Hilton thinks of you. And, Coach Hilton's been able to coach you just for this year, right? This is his first year?
No,
or second year at Sandia. So that's what he thinks of you. So in along those lines, again, this is your third coach. You went through Coach Eaton, Coach Hendricks, and now you've got Coach Hilton. This is your second year being coached by him. What kind of difference has he made?
From Dave to him, it's just been night and day, kind of. I mean, Dave was in a hard spot, or Hendricks was in a hard spot, coming after the loss of Chris. But, I mean, I think it started from day one. He said, what do you guys want? And, what do you guys want? Like, what are some things you guys want us to do? And I remember telling him, like, just don't take it easy on us. Like, make us work hard, make us practice hard. Like, because I felt like my sophomore year, right after Chris passed, it was just like, trying to, like, I don't know. It was like kind of like soft, like trying to not, I don't even know how to explain it. But I just remember feeling like practices weren't as intense. Stuff wasn't like that. And I just know, like, if Chris was still there, that's not how he would have wanted it. He would have, pushed us to our limit. So I think that's kind of where the difference is. He's been pushing us a little bit harder. So, yeah, that's all you can really ask for.
It had to have been, to your point, Adriel, it had to be hard for Coach Hendricks.
Yeah,
that's not easy because you don't know but he's not Chris. No offense to Coach Hendricks at all. Chris was one of a kind. Coach Hilton has his own style, but it was probably one of those things where he didn't know what buttons to push and how hard to push, because there's something like that that happens. It takes a long time, man. It takes a long time to get over, and you're still kids, and that's why you know what I mean, young men. And so I'm sure Coach Hendricks did a great job, and Coach Hilton is I talked to him on Friday night, and I talked to him just a little while ago. He's very happy to be at Sandia, and he's got a very good team here. So I know he's lending something to itself there as well. Adriel, do you have a favorite player in Major League Baseball?
All time or right now?
Right now, or you can say all time or right now.
So all time, my favorite player is Derek Jeter. I'm a Yankees fan, so
How about right now?
Right now, I really like Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt's pretty good. I like him.
Man, those are some good players, man. Bobby Witt of Kansas City, I believe, right? Kansas City shortstop. His dad played in the big leagues, man. His dad is a pretty good player too. So those are some good players. Eric, let me just ask him one more question before you get to yours. No, I asked Coach Hilton about the lineup around you, because the lineup around you, man, is important too. You're going to do your thing, but you got protection around you in the lineup. This is what Coach Hilton said. Sophomore Colton Floyd getting lots of attention by the following D1 schools: Oklahoma University, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, North Carolina. Leading hitter with a .565 average, 12 doubles, 4 home runs, and 26 RBIs. Solid. Senior Damon McCree, committed to New Mexico Highlands, hitting .432. Center field, we mentioned Anthony Condon, committed to play at Cuesta in California, hitting .410, 21 RBIs, and 5 home runs. Senior Jeremiah Bustillos, third baseman, .429, 4 doubles, 22 RBIs, 1 home run. And Bustillos, also one of the better linebackers in the state of New Mexico. You know, he was a heck of a football player as well. His father and I, very, very good friends. And wow, so look at that lineup. Now, we mentioned the Cuevas lineup, and it's solid. But that lineup there, talk a little bit about the protection around you. It's not like they can pitch around you, and forget these guys. These guys will hurt them too. Talk about that lineup around you.
You know, it's fun. Colin's all right. Colin's all right at hitting. So, the whole lineup's all okay at hitting. We're okay. But it's just always nice to know, like, your first guys are just pretty much guaranteed to get on base. And then you got Colton, and he's just kind of a monster. So, if you do get someone on base and they make a bad pitch to Colton, it's kind of game over. Ball's probably going 500 feet. But, I mean, Anthony does that too. I sometimes hit balls kind of hard. So the lineup all around, it's great to be in it because, you're always going to get some pitch. They don't want to walk you and get to Colton. They don't want to walk Dame and get to me, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's always fun knowing you're going to go up there and they're going to have to throw to you, or else they're going to just give up some runs.
Yeah, it's a lineup, man. Look at that lineup. That Coach Hilton, he keeps his stats, pretty secret, but he sent me those ones. And when I looked at those, I was like, you got a lot of protection around you too. It's not like they just say, okay, we'll pitch around McCree and get to you, because they'll do. Any one of these guys can really rake it, man. They can rake around the yard. They got a lot of rakers, man. So we mentioned again, LaCueva having the lineup. Your lineup's pretty darn good as well. We're getting about to the end of this, so I'm going to ask. Well, we kind of covered that, Eric. Sorry, I didn't mean to cover your question, Eric. Do you have any other questions for Adriel?
Yeah, I got a few more. They're going to be more kind of baseball specific, and like I played in high school. I played in college a little bit, and you got to fall in love with the process in order to be a good ball player. That's what it is. It's all about repetitions, and that could go. I mean, I could say that about basically any sport, really, but especially baseball. A lot of it's technique, a lot of it's hand-eye coordination, it's quick twitch, being able to identify pitches early, and then especially as a middle infielder, it's just repetition, right? Ground ball after ground ball, backhand, forehand, being able to throw on the run. What is it about practice and your routine that you just kind of really focus on now in your career, knowing that you're preparing for the college game? What do you think that you need to refine yourself to kind of take that next step as a ball player?
I think lately in practice, I've just kind of been working on my fielding a little bit more. I wouldn't say it's a weak spot of my game, but I feel like it's probably a spot that I can improve on the most. And we do a good job over there at San Diego. We take a lot of ground balls, a lot of repetition. Don't want to give out all the secrets, but that's probably something I've been working on, just my defense overall. And I don't know, like trying to be more vocal, trying to command the field a little bit better, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, one thing I always found kind of interesting too was, I correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be overstating, but at Sandia, the infield's turf, right?
Yeah.
The grass is turf. And at Pima Community College, is that all natural grass?
Yeah. It's all
Yeah. Yeah. How do you the ball comes off different. It spins different. It's not going to bounce as high. It's not going to get on you as fast, right? So, I mean, talk to me a little bit about how ground balls come off the turf at Sandia versus where you're playing on a natural gas field.
Ground balls come off beautifully on the turf. It's always the perfect hop. Chris always told us if we make an error on the turf, it's all your fault because that ball is perfect. And then dirt is shaky. Dirt's shaky sometimes because you got a pebble, you got something on the ground. But the ball at Sandia comes off it plays pretty true, I'd say, just a little quick. compared to like a natural field. Probably plays a little slower, but also probably has worse hops there. So I don't know. I think I'd probably rather take ground balls at Sandia, but I mean both have their goods and their bads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, want to talk to you about club ball, travel ball. I played a long time ago. I graduated 2005 from Capital, so I played a little bit in some travel ball situations in Albuquerque. Played in some tournaments in like Southern Colorado, but it wasn't as big of a thing now or then as it is now. Like if you want to get recruited and you want to play at the next level, like you have to play club ball. You got to travel. You got to play against some of the best competition around. Now I know that we have noted here that you played with the New Mexico Blast Select, but I know you also played for the Albuquerque Baseball Academy. Is it the Navy team? Because I saw some of your stats
yeah,
online. Um,
yeah.
Talk to me about that experience because it's a completely different level than high school baseball, and I don't think a lot of people realize it until you actually get out there and play. Um, Talk to me about how your this last summer went when you were kind of I don't know if when you committed, but um, kind of walk me through that process.
Yeah. So I mean, I played this last summer. I played with the Nashville Knights and ABA, which is just kind of like the club that we always play with. It's just our hometown team, pretty much. Um, we went to a couple tournaments with ABA, a couple big tournaments, the Mattingly, stuff like that. But I mean, it's just honestly, there's just such a big difference from playing high school baseball in New Mexico and then you're going to play the best dudes that are in Texas and in California and stuff. So I mean, I committed in November of this year, but I mean, I'd been getting recruited since sophomore year, freshman sophomore years when I got my first couple interests, but didn't end up committing till this November. But I mean, yeah, just playing with those guys makes you a better player, gets your name out there more. It's honestly a big component of baseball nowadays, like trying to get recruited and stuff. So
It is the traveling part's fun too because you build a camaraderie and some good. I mean, I'm still really long best friends with guys that I played with over the summer, more so than going to school. But what were some of the cooler tournaments that you guys traveled to? And I'm talking to like big time tournaments where you're playing in a really nice complex, like even some of the spring training complexes, like in Arizona, stuff like that. What are some that are most memorable to you?
probably like the five tool tournaments. Most of the five tool tournaments, like the Fall Classic, the Arizona Fall Classic, it's a really big one. We play on the spring training fields, and then this year's Fall Classic, I think we played at the actual like stadium for the oh, I forget what team it was, but we played like the actual like big stadium. Also, really fun tournament was when I was the Nashville Knights. We went down to Fort Myers, yeah, and we played like the top 20. We played like I think we placed top five in like a really big tournament. Those tournaments are a lot of fun. Went to Georgia too. No, no, no. Went to Jupiter. Played in those really big stadiums. That's one of the best tournaments in the country. So I mean, that's a real special memory for me. But I mean, really, the tournaments I like the most are the ones with ABA. I've known those guys the longest. So any tournament like the Mattingly was a really fun one. It's a really big tournament. You've got so many college coaches, professional coaches, everyone out there. So those are probably my most memorable ones.
Yeah, really cool, man. And I'm glad I'm happy with how ABA and I know that I think they recently just merged with the MAC or the hooligan group in Rio
Yeah.
Rancho, which I thought was kind of smart. Just Ed always likes to say the strength in numbers, and I would put ABA, I think they would rival some of the other big programs around the country. It really put New Mexico baseball players on the map. But your recruiting process and kind of choosing to go the junior college route, did you ever have the opportunity to look at like a 4-year school, D2? Not sure if D1 was in the cards for you or not, but I mean, ultimately, what had you kind of lean towards going to Pima Community College? What did they sell you on?
Um, well, I mean, I had a lot of interest in, like, I had a lot of Division One interest. They never offered. I had a couple 4-year schools that I had offers from, but I think what it really came down to was where am I going to play the most? Where am I going to get the most exposure? So it came down to like two junior colleges, and I had heard really good things from the head coach at Pima and everyone there that I've talked to. Like Aiden May went there. That's the dude that's the dude that is in the MLB now. Yeah, he went there. I talked to him a little bit. He's telling me that he loves the head coach. He'd do anything. So I mean, just a lot of good things I heard out there. So that's where I ended up going.
Well, you're going to have to remind me what conference Pima Community College plays in, because I know the network of junior colleges in Arizona is pretty broad.
Yeah, it's the ACCAC. So it's the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference. It's a division. It's a Division 2 junior college though. So they're
Okay.
playing that. Yeah.
Well, very cool, man. Happy for you.
Appreciate that.
Representing New Mexico as a big time ball player. Ed, I don't have any other questions, so I'm going to put the pressure on you and kick it over to you.
Yeah, I got just a couple more. I think people are going to ask Adriel, did UNM come calling? Did they call you at all? I'm sure they did. Was there a strong effort to recruit you?
Yeah, UNM was one of the first schools that showed interest in me. My freshman year, they had a pretty good freshman year, so they were talking to my ABA coaches and stuff, but they didn't really talk to me that year. So then the no rule change happened. They couldn't talk to me till my junior year. They were one of the first teams to call. Nothing crazy, honestly. Like showed a little bit of interest here and there, but ultimately, I didn't get the offer. So
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's yeah. I'll say as a Lobo fan, that's too bad for us. I'm a player like you that they're letting get out of state. That's too bad. The other thing I'm going to ask you, Alvel, it's your senior year, and you've been in the championship game as a freshman. I remember I did the PA for that game, and you fell short in that game. But what do you think you have to do for, again, 16-3, 4-0 in district? You've got El Dorado in a doubleheader next Saturday, Capital the following Saturday, and then to end the season, La Cueva. What do the Matadors have to do to take home that blue trophy?
I think as long as we play just our brand of baseball, we've already beat La Cueva once, and that was us playing well, but honestly, not even like we played pretty well as a team defensively, but we probably could have played better. I think as long as we just play clean baseball, play how we play, swing the bats well, and then just have faith in one another, honestly, we have a shot for it. It's probably what it'd take. I think we could do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think you got as good a chance as anybody. Look at the lineup, look at the coaching that all comes together, and you got guys that have played together. I think you've been there. Look at the lineup around you, and of course, pitching and defense matter. So, Adriel Figueroa-Brito, we appreciate you being our first guest on Deep in the Dugout, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. We'll talk to you soon, Eric. A great guest tonight, and that's kicking off our show. I thought we kicked it off pretty well.
Yeah, had a good first guest. But good luck, Adi. Well, we'll probably catch you at Isotopes Park, man.
Sounds good. That's the plan.
Take care.
All right. Bye, guys.
Okay.